Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria 2 Advanced Academy. In this episode we're going to look at your economic strategy. First of all, we're gonna dive into your economic policy, and you can find it with your politics tab. Currently I have the Shast faction who have interventionism, and interventionism is like the middle road between laissez-faire, which doesn't allow the government to intervene in the industry, and state capitalism, which doesn't allow capitalists to intervene in the industry. The third one is the fourth one is the planned economy, which is like the even worse version of state capitalism. We won't be reviewing that one. So what my favorite economic policy is interventionism, because it's like laissez-faire, which allows you to set your economy on autopilot. Interventionism also lets you intervene when you find it necessary to do so, like for example open or close factories. But also one more thing, and that's with building railroads. If you look at the railroads, for example here, you can see that expanding this railroad costs 4.5k. If you go to the projects tab with production, you can see the railroad costs only 1.1k. So that's like 25% of the original cost do you have to pay in interventionism, because you only invest in it for that amount of money. And that's quite a huge advantage over laissez-faire, because if you have an empire like me, you have lots of railroads to build, and if you have to pay for them all, you pay a lot of money. And if you have interventionism, you only pay a fourth of the price. But depending on your country, you can always choose which economic policy you want to choose. And for example, the USA is laissez-faire the best one by far, and not, for example, state capitalism. And which economic policy you want to choose, before you do that, you want to do some research, and research is done in your population tab. And I have now selected all the capitalists, and you see in my country they are not very rich, which means if I would have laissez-faire, my industry wouldn't grow, because the capitalists don't have money, even with the tax rate being 0. And if you see that your capitalists are quite rich, then you want to have laissez-faire, because you won't have to spend anything, and capitalists are rich enough to fund all the projects themselves. But if you are like me, a country with quite poor capitalists, you want to have interventionism so that they can start projects and you can invest in it if you want to. The last thing we are going to look at is the trade tab, and in trade you can build up your stockpile. And your stockpile is like oil for your economic engine, and let me show you why. Your government needs materials, your factories just need materials, and your population needs materials. But when material is very scarce on the common market, you are paying a high price, and your factories won't always be able to produce industrial goods. So if you build up a stockpile, you can allow factories and your population, and also yourself, to when there's the demand for a certain project is higher than the actual supply, it allows you to still continue your actions and your decision, and also allows your factories to still run. And an example for yourself is military. If you want to build a military unit, for example, artillery, then you have to pay certain amounts of artillery, and if you can see in the tab, the supply is now quite high and demand's low. But when the demand is higher than the supply, you won't be able to buy them, and especially in wartime when there's a high demand of military goods, you sure want to still build your army quite fast, and a way to do that is to build up your stockpile before that. So this is as for your economic strategy to follow. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.